What's going on, everybody? Rob here with a little video on tying up my tomato plants. I know I'm not in the sun, but the sun's kind of bright, right? Tying up my tomato plants. Use twine, don't use wire, because you could cut this down a lot easier. Now I stretch my tomato plants to the hilt. When I tie them, I stretch them to the hilt. These are blackberries. The little blackberry bushes didn't like being tied up. These don't like being tied up. So I put them in tomato cages. This is a different strand, so I'm trying that one, right? But here's some more tomato plants. You leave a really big loop at the bottom so you don't strangle the plant. Then you pull it and tie it up. I pull it and tie it up. The cucumber plants all the way up here. Look at that one, how stretched out that one is. Now let me explain the method to my madness here on why I tie up all my tomato plants. See, tomatoes, 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 tomato, 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 all on trellises. Not trellises, but they're all tied all the way up. They're sage babies I'm making, but they're tied all the way up to the hilt, as high as I can get them, because the sun, look at where the sun line is. The sun, the seasons are changing already. We're mid-August and the season is changing already. So I told you I got a short growing season, so where the sun is, and the sun actually changed, so it's on the other side of this house. So the growing season is shifted, where in the beginning of the season this is full sun now, and then a little bit short couple months I got full sun right there. So there's my short season. And then, believe it or not, this is what happens with tomato plants and cucumber plants. You may say I'm crazy, is the bottom of the plants will start to die off and the top of the plants will still give you tomatoes. Whatever reaches the sun is still going to give you tomatoes. Look, there's blackberries right here. Blackberries. Whatever reaches the sun is still going to give you tomatoes. So the plant may be dying off down here. See, it's dying off. But all up here, there's more tomatoes still growing. So it's trying to reach for the sun. It's trying to reach for the sun. See? Is trying to reach for the sun, so whatever is still getting the sunlight is still going to give you tomatoes. See, like this is dying out. I got to trim this one, but the top is still reaching for the sun. It's still green. It's still really green. So the bottom's dying off, but the top is still green with flowers. So what I'm trying to do is I want 10-foot poles. I would really love 10-foot poles on this. So with the 10-foot poles, I could tie them higher. Now, believe it or not, you can research it on the internet. There's a grower that grows tomato plants, and you see how high these are. I've actually had tomato plants like, God, probably about 12 feet long. Although I started them in like March inside. All these are from seed. These just are from seed. So I started them from March inside, so I had a big grow by the time I brought them outside. And then I fertilized them with my fish tank water, my worm bin water, my worm bin seed, and they were like super high, but they were tied along here. And then I've had tomatoes all the way until, say, the end of November in Chicago, because it was a warm season. And as long as I'm getting the sun, now the sun, see that line right there, it'll actually go higher with the seasons changing. The sun line right here will come up higher to probably about right here. And then that sun line will be all the way up. So as long as it's not freezing and you're in the sun, this plant is still going to keep trying to get taller, because it's going to try to grow with the sun. Although this is the highest point right here. So that's why I wanted to change all these to 10-foot now. And I really didn't maintain too much, although you're seeing everything is still reaching for the sun. So that's why I tie off my tomatoes as high as possible to get the most extent from the sun. Now these right here are going to last longer. You see there's a lot of green at the bottom still on these right here. Let me tell you why. Because the sun starts over there, it does a crazy angle over here, right? But so this right here is already halfway up, but when the sun hits over here, I have no tree. There's no tree blocking in between right here. So in between right here, this right here gets sun probably all the way up to here until like November. So these are the last ones to die off. Everything right here. I know you're thinking, why don't I just flip it? You know, I should, but right now this is where I'm at, and this is why I tie up my tomatoes as high as I can go because they will give me tomatoes all the way till the first frost. And then the blackberries, you see I got a couple blackberries, so these bushes got to get a lot bigger for me to get blackberries. But that blackberry bush is only like a year old. I got it from the clearance store. That is a thornless blackberry, and then this is a thorned blackberry I got from the clearance store. But I've tied up these blackberry bushes before to try to tie them up. They died off. So this is my first time trying to tie this off because it's growing like a vine anyways. So we'll see if this keeps going higher. That's like 1 year old, but the mother plant is probably maybe 3 years old. But the mother plant died off on me, and I thought it was completely dead, and then it came back. So if your blackberry plant is dead, leave it in the ground for a year, it might come back. So yeah, this is all mess. It's not weeded. Those are serrano peppers, raspberries, serrano peppers. I love this lily, garbage picked lily. That was garbage picked, and I brought it back to life. You think that's dead, right? Look, that looks dead. Look at all the babies, all the babies, all the babies. Pineapple. There's some more raspberries, but the raspberries are out of season right now. This was onions. There's mint. There's what is that? Chamomile. I mean, we were growing everything here in this little space on the side of the house in the Midwest town. Oh, one more thing. This is a sage, all baby sage plant I'm trying to propagate. Stay tuned. We'll see if that works. Another thing. This is potatoes. Potatoes, all potatoes right down there. This is sweet potatoes all in there. So in the fall we're gonna break this bucket, but look at the sweet potatoes, they're ending off right here. I can actually put those higher. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tie up the sweet potatoes so they can still grow higher also, because that's all sweet potatoes here. This right here was growing across my sidewalk trying to make it to the sun, and that's why it's all just bunched up right there. But I'm gonna tie up my sweet potatoes, then I'm done for today. All right, talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share.